This is the story of Kang, who got transported to hell. It was a hellish experience. He had to eat demons' tentacles, demons' poop, and even drink demons' piss just to survive. Little by little, Kang somehow managed to survive and eventually became the king of hell. All the previous demon kings now serve under him. Kang might have all the power in the world, but there are only two things he truly wants: to feel the warmth of a real human, and to taste human food. Although his commanders tried their best to cook delicious meals following Kang's instructions, all Kang ever got was disgusting food. And in the name of women, Kang had to be satisfied by the thick, slimy octodemon woman. All she ever wanted was to put her slimy tentacles inside Kang. Just the thought of it makes Kang's whole body shiver in disgust. So, if you also don't want to get stuck in hell with the Tenty Girl, then smash that like button and help us hit our 5,000 like goal. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's continue. For 100 years, Kang studied and studied with the hope of going back to Earth, and one day he succeeded. He opened a portal to Earth. As the portal started opening, every demon began to cry, thinking that Kang was just going for a vacation. The portal finally opened, and Kang felt so happy that he was about to escape this horrible world. But just then, Lilith, the octodemon girl, started crying, begging Kang to return very soon. Seeing this, Kang felt disgusted and jumped inside the crack, showing his middle finger to all his demon buddies. But Kang did not reach Earth. Instead, he arrived at a mysterious place with a spherical ball floating in the air. As soon as Kang touched the surface of the ball, a weird alarm called the Giga System started to beep loudly. Suddenly, Kang got hit by a huge electric shock. Kang, using all his power, tried to resist the shock. After that, Kang's vision started to blur. When Kang opened his eyes again, he found himself lying in a green field. Kim slowly opens his eyes, his head pounding with pain. Suddenly, a status window pops up right in front of him. In that status window, his level is shown as 1, and all of Kim's powers are sealed. His strength is 8, stamina 7, intelligence 8, and magic 12, which is really low. And most importantly, almost all his powers are sealed away. Seeing this, Kim gets shocked and starts figuring out what's going on. Before he can make any sense of it, he suddenly hears the sound of growling. When he looks back, he sees a group of bloodthirsty goblins, their mouths drooling, coming right at him to kill. Kim, seeing this, quickly starts forming an energy ball in his hand, ready to blast those goblins away. But then, poof, his energy ball just disappears. He realizes his current magic level is way too low to use any spells, and he can't feel any demonic magic inside his body. He's got no choice now. Kim pulls out his demon blade and slashes through those goblins one by one, cutting them down like he's slicing vegetables with ease. The leader of the goblins, a big purple one, charges at him, but Kim, without even breaking a sweat, slices it clean in half. After killing all the goblins, Kim stands there, confused. He wonders, who the hell are these monsters? Then a weird holographic window pops up, notifying Kim that he's gained experience points. The strangest part? He's now leveled up to level 4, and he feels a little stronger than before. Kim starts looking around at the mess he's made, goblins' bodies everywhere, some missing their heads, some torn apart with limbs scattered all over. He didn't understand where these goblins came from. Kim extends his hand and starts absorbing all the dead goblins using his power of gluttony. He has a lot of questions, thinking maybe if he absorbs these strange monsters he might get some useful info. But all he gets is another notification telling him his magic stats increased by 2 points. Seeing this increase, Kim gets surprised. How the hell is there magic here? Magic only found in hell? He starts questioning, is this even Earth? Kim feels like he's losing his mind. He had stayed sane and survived 10,000 years only because of the hope that he'd one day return to Earth. But now, Now it all feels like it's been for nothing. Before he could dive deeper into his thoughts, he hears a scream. And this scream? It's not a demon or monster, it's the voice of a human. Hearing this, Kim can't stop himself and immediately dashes toward the sound. After all, in 10,000 years he's only seen demons. Kim doesn't care how ugly the human might look at this point. All he wants is for the human to have 2 eyes, 1 nose, and 1 mouth. Just the sight of that would feel like seeing a god. Kim even starts praying, hoping he won't see any more tentacles. Well, after everything he's been through, he's practically developed tentacle phobia. Just remembering those slimy tentacles wrapping around his entire body, going who knows where, makes Kim shiver uncontrollably once again. Now back to the story. Kim reaches the source of the scream and sees a group of goblins, but he ignores them like the middle child of a family. His eyes are locked on one thing, the human trapped between the goblins. First of all, Kim checks out the girl completely. 2 eyes, 1 nose, and of course, milkers. Seeing there are no tentacles, Kim becomes overjoyed. He's so happy he starts crying, and still crying, he rushes toward the goblins. In his excitement, he gets so pumped up that he starts beating the goblins brutally one by one. In just a few seconds, he slaughters all of them. The girl, scared out of her mind, had her eyes closed tight. But hearing the strange sounds, she opens her eyes, noticing Kim slaying the goblins with absolute ease. In a matter of seconds, Kim had cleared out the entire group. He then extends his hand towards the girl. The girl, still in shock, says, "Thank you," and grabs his hand. As soon as Kim touches her hand, a strange ticklish sensation runs through his entire body. It feels like he's in heaven. Kim just stands there, frozen, shaking. The girl introduces herself, saying her name is Juhi. But Kim, he's still not saying a word. Then, out of nowhere, with pure excitement, Kim pulls Juhi close and proposes to her on the spot, asking, "Will you marry me?" This sudden question leaves Juhi absolutely stunned. Then Kang realizes he was a little too excited. He clears his throat, scratching the back of his head, and apologizes to Juhi. Then he introduces himself, saying his name's Kang, and quickly asks if she is all right. Is her injury okay? Seeing this side of Kang, Juhi, who was initially wary, starts to feel relieved. She's just about to say she's fine when suddenly she remembers the pain in her foot. She loses her balance and is about to fall when Kang catches her effortlessly. Meanwhile, Kang's eyes fall on a smartphone lying on the ground. Seeing the phone, Kang's heart skips a beat. This is definitely Earth. He gently places Juhi under a tree, making sure she's comfortable, and gives her a simple first aid. As she was resting, Kang feels a sudden realization hitting him. He's finally speaking to someone in Korean after 10,000 years. Not a demon, but a human. A beautiful human like Juhi. All Kang's effort of making the Hell's national language Korea was worth it. Damn, making the entirety of Hell learn a new language and banning the old one is a whole new level of D1 hater. Anyways, back to story. After that, Kang hands Juhi her phone back, and as he does, he catches a glimpse of the date on the screen. It's 2023. Kang's eyes widen in shock. He realizes it's only been 5 years since he disappeared from Earth, yet he spent 10,000 years in Hell. Nothing makes sense to him. He's a bit confused, but now he needs information. Fast. So he tells Juhi to stay put under the tree and rest while he asks her some questions. Juhi starts talking about herself, saying she's an E-rank hunter who came alone to do solo hunting. Party? Hunting? Player? These are all new words for Kang. He doesn't understand half of what Juhi is saying. Then Kang asks her directly, "What's your level?" Juhi replies casually, "I'm level 6. Kang realizes with a bit of shock that her level is higher than his. He instinctively leans closer, feeling a bit curious, but Juhi gets startled and jumps up in fear. However, her leg isn't healed yet, and she stumbles once again. Kang grabs her hand, steadying her and reassures her. "I'll help you." Joo-hee, feeling a mix of nervousness and shyness, blushes slightly as Kang holds her hand. Together, hand in hand, they start making their way out of the dungeon. As they approach the dungeon gate, Joo-hee explains they can return to Earth through here. Hearing this, Kang realizes that they were not on Earth this whole time. They were somewhere else entirely. Now they're heading back to Earth. As they step through the gate, they find themselves back on Earth. The moment Kang steps out, he sees a sea of people everywhere. His eyes fill with tears. He's so happy that he starts crying uncontrollably. Joo-hee looks at him, puzzled, not understanding why Kang is crying so much. After a few moments, Joo-hee shyly bows her head, playing with her hair nervously. She looks up at Kang and, blushing slightly, asks, if it's all right with Kang, would Kang like to come to her place for lunch? Joo-hee's face is flushed with embarrassment. But hearing this, Kang's face turns redder than hers. In Kang's eyes, Joo-hee looks like an angel. Well, it looks like, after 10,000 years of virginity, Kang is about to graduate from his eternal loneliness. Kang is lost in this blissful moment. But before he can savor it, two policemen approach them. They ask Kang for his ID card. Joo-hee quickly shows them her ID, but one of the officers turns to Kang and demands his ID as well. Kang, realizing he has no ID to show, smirks and raises his middle finger. In an instant, he activates his demon eye and hypnotizes the officer. The officer's eyes go wide, and behind him a horrifying creature with a long tongue and a grotesque face appears, putting its hands over the officer's eyes. Kang, still smirking, makes the officer believe he's shown him a valid ID card. After that, both officers leave, completely dazed and confused. Kang and Joo-hee continue walking, making their way to her apartment. As they enter her building, Kang's emotions start to overwhelm him. Climbing the narrow stairway, touching the cold railing, and looking through a dusty window, these small, mundane things bring a flood of memories. For the first time in forever, he feels like he's truly back on Earth. He never expected that the very first thing he'd do after returning would be going to a girl's room for lunch. Kang can't help but think, from here on out, a bright and positive future awaits me. But does it really? Kang was feeling a bit too good, already thinking about doing some naughty things when suddenly a woman's voice interrupts. Joo-hee, it's Joo-hee's mother. Hearing the word mother breaks all of Kang's fantasies in a split second. His face falls, and he's pulled back to reality. Kang's eyes dart over to Joo-hee's mother. All his desires, poof, gone like smoke in the wind. Joo-hee's mother walks over, holding Kang's hand gently and thanking him for protecting her daughter. Her warmth and kindness make him feel awkward for even having those thoughts just a moment to go. She then invites Kang inside and asks him to join them for dinner. Joo-hee heads off to change her clothes. Meanwhile, Kang's eyes land on Joo-hee's mobile phone lying on the table. He casually asks if he can borrow her phone for a sec. Joo-hee, at this point, trusts Kang completely. Without hesitating, she just nods, giving him permission without asking any questions. Kang grabs the phone, thinking he need to check what's been happening these past 5 years. As soon as he picks it up, he's a bit taken aback. It's the latest edition of the iPhone. Kang stares at the sleek device in his hand and mutters, "Damn, Earth really moved fast with tech while I was stuck in hell." He can't help but shake his head, amazed at how much the world has changed in such a short time. Kang scrolls through the phone searching for news. He quickly discovers something shocking. 5 years ago, strange gates started opening all over the world and monsters began pouring out. In response, humanity formed hunter organizations to fight off these monsters. As he digs deeper, Kang finds out that the very first gate appeared on February 22nd, 2018, the exact same day he was dragged into hell. Kang's mind races. He's slowly piecing it together now. His transfer to hell and the appearance of these gates on Earth, they must be connected somehow. Before he can search any further, Juhi's mother sets a steaming pot of kimchi stew on the table. The aroma hits Kang's nose, and his eyes go wide open. It's kimchi, his favorite dish. Kang hesitates, almost in disbelief. He gently dips his spoon into the kimchi stew, scooping up a small piece of tofu. He takes a bite, and as the flavors explode in his mouth, the salty, spicy, veggie goodness. Kang feels like he's tasting the food of the gods. It's like he's eating heavenly food, the kind only immortals would get. Well, Kang still remains virgin, but he at least fulfilled his dream. After 10K years, Juhi and her mother watch him, confused by his reaction. Kang, overwhelmed with emotions, starts eating faster and faster, shoveling the kimchi into his mouth like he hasn't eaten in forever. And honestly, he hasn't. He hasn't tasted good food in 5 years, or technically speaking 10,000 years if you count the hellish time he spent. Suddenly we get a flashback, Kang's first moments in hell. To survive, he ate the most disgusting things you can imagine. He chewed on the testicles of who knows what demons, gnawed on raw, rotten meat, and even drank demon piss just to stay alive. It was like Man vs. Wild Hell Difficulty Edition. Kang did all of that because he had to survive, dreaming of the day he'd come back to Earth and eat his favorite dish, kimchi. And now that he's really here, eating real kimchi, he can't hold back his emotions. Tears start streaming down his face. He's crying while eating, savoring every single bite. Juhi watches him, worried. "Kang, what happened? Are you okay?" she asks gently. Kang, swallowing another spoonful, just looks at her with teary eyes and says, "Thank you. Thank you for this delicious food." Juhi and her mother exchange confused looks. They don't understand why he's so grateful for just an ordinary kimchi stew. But seeing Kang so happy, Juhi smiles and decides to offer him more. She gets up, bringing an extra bowl from the kitchen, piling it high with more kimchi, and sets it in front of him. "Here, Kang, eat as much as you want," she says, smiling warmly. Kang's still enjoying his meal, lost in the taste, when suddenly, bam, the back door gets smashed open with a loud crash. A mysterious boy bursts into the room, looking furious. He starts cursing. "Where the hell is that bitch, Juhi?" Kang's hand freezes mid-bite, his eyes narrowing as he looks up, ready for whatever's coming next. Well, we can say R.I.P. to whoever broke the door. The blonde guy barges into Juhi's house, his face twisted with rage. He's glaring straight at Juhi, seething with anger, wondering who the hell gave her permission to enter the gate. Juhi doesn't respond, just stares back at him with cold eyes. Her silence seems to infuriate him even more. Without hesitation, Juhi orders him to leave her house, her voice cutting through the tension like a knife. The blonde guy's anger spikes even further. He steps closer, his expression darkening as Juhi loses her temper and screams at him, demanding he get out. It's then revealed this blonde guy is actually Juhi's own brother. Juhi's face twists in disgust as she hurls insults his way, boldly stating that she's now a full-fledged hunter. She proclaims she can handle herself and insists he needs to leave her house right now. Otherwise, she'll be the one dishing out the lesson. The blonde guy finds this hilarious. He bursts into loud mocking laughter, tears forming in his eyes as if he's heard the greatest joke of his life. The laughter dies quickly, his face turning deadly serious. He slams his fist into the wall right next to Juhi's head, showing his frustration. He sneers, ridiculing her, reminding her that she's nothing more than a low-level E-rank hunter. He's baffled that Juhi would even dare to call herself a hunter, given her rank. Juhi's mother, witnessing this aggressive display, looks terrified, her hands trembling. Juhi, stepping in front of her mom, firmly warns her brother not to come near their mother. She threatens that if he does, she won't let it slide. Her brother, with a look of pure disdain, turns his gaze to their mother. He sneers and spits out hateful words, calling her a useless piece of trash. He bitterly blames her for their father's early death and for never earning enough, making him feel deprived his whole life. The resentment drips from his words, laced with venom. Hearing this, Juhi's anger surges. She lashes out, accusing her brother, saying that all their problems stemmed from him, not their mother. But before Juhi can say another word, her brother grabs her by the wrist with a strong, unyielding grip. He drags her across the room, deciding right then that he's going to teach her a lesson. Juhi fights back, struggling to break free, but her brother's strength is overpowering. Desperate, Juhi bites his hand hard, drawing blood. The sharp pain only enrages him further. He responds by slapping Juhi hard across the face, sending her flying to the ground. She crashes down, hitting the floor hard while her mother gasps in horror, rushing over to her. Her brother stands there, shaking with rage, staring at the bite mark on his hand. He's beyond furious now, his eyes dark with fury. He plans to show her and her pathetic mom what real power looks like. Blondie, as he's called, sneers, convinced that Juhi, as an E-rank, has no clue about the harsh realities of the outside world. He believes she's naive to think a low-level hunter can survive out there. Today, he is going to show her the power of a true high-level hunter. He grabs Juhi by the face, squeezing her cheeks roughly, intending to demonstrate his strength. But just as he's about to make his move, a strange noise catches his attention. He pauses, turning around, only to see Kang casually sitting on a bench, munching away on a bowl of kimchi. Kang seems completely unbothered by the chaos unfolding around him, focused solely on enjoying his food. The sight throws Blondie off. He releases Juhi, his focus now shifting to this mysterious stranger. He marches over to Kang, glaring down at him. He scoffs, mocking Juhi for bringing a beggar into her house, clearly irritated that this guy is just sitting there eating without a care in the world. Blondie steps right in front of Kang, but Kang doesn't even look up. He's too busy savoring the kimchi. This blatant disregard pushes Blondie over the edge. He kicks the table hard, sending everything flying. In Kang's mind, it all happens in slow motion. The kimchi he loves so much, soaring through the air. Juhi's face turns pale. She thinks her brother might actually hurt Kang next. Blondie, satisfied, crushes the fallen kimchi under his foot, grinding it into the floor. Kang watches his expression frozen as his favorite food is destroyed right in front of his eyes. It's like his entire world shatters in that moment. Kang's face contorts in shock, and then as if a dam has broken inside him, he starts to wail. Tears stream down his face, and he collapses to the ground, crying like a child who's lost everything. Blondie, taken aback, stares down at him, baffled by this reaction. He wonders if Kang is truly just a beggar, someone Juhi picked up off the streets. Even Juhi is surprised watching Kang sob uncontrollably. Kang doesn't care about anyone's gaze. He's crying his heart out, mourning the loss of his kimchi. Blondie, growing impatient, decides he's had enough. He tries to kick Kang out of the house, calling him a beggar and demanding that he leave immediately. But Kang's crying stops abruptly. He looks up, his eyes burning with a deadly glare. It's a look that sends a chill down Blondie's spine. For a brief moment, Blondie feels like he's staring into the eyes of a demon, something far more terrifying than any metahuman he's faced. Kang, with a voice cold as ice, utters just one sentence. "How dare you spill my kimchi stew?" After that, Kang keeps repeating the same thing over and over, like a broken record about how Blondie threw his kimchi stew on the floor. Blondie watches him, getting more and more pissed off. Kang's crying and ranting irritates him to no end. Blondie's patience wears thin, and in a fit of anger he activates his blue flame, ready to kill Kang right then and there. But deep down, Blondie can't shake the feeling of unease. He's still shivering, remembering the demonic energy he sensed inside Kang. It was as if he'd glimpsed a demonic being lurking within Kang's body. Blondie tries to convince himself it was all an illusion, a figment of his imagination. Steeling himself, he prepares to strike, planning to end this nonsense once and for all. But before he can attack, Juhi steps in with her staff, distracting Blondie. She shouts at Kang, telling him to run away. But Kang isn't in the mood to run. He's angry. He's in full-on action mode. Kang pulls out his demonic blade, his face dead serious as he steps up to fight Blondie. Juhi watches in shock, not expecting this turn of events. Blondie launches his attack, trying to engulf Kang with his blue flame. But Kang dodges effortlessly. He moves with a strange fluidity, as if he knows where every attack is going to land. This leaves Blondie upset and confused. He can't understand how Kang, with such low magic power, is able to dodge his attack so easily. Blondie knows he's faster, yet it feels like Kang is predicting his every move. Unbeknownst to Blondie, Kang has achieved something close to Ultra Instinct, reacting purely on instinct. The next moment, Kang switches to attack mode, rushing in and delivering a punch to Blondie's back. Blondie expects a kick, but it was a feint, a distraction. The punch lands hard on Blondie's spine, but it isn't strong enough to do much damage. Blondie feels only a minor sting, making him even more upset. In response, Blondie channels all his magic power into his right hand, preparing for a full-powered strike aimed straight at Kang's face. Kang, with a sly smirk, pretends he's about to punch, but instead delivers a swift kick to Blondie's ribcage. The impact almost breaks Blondie's ribs, but Kang's attack still isn't strong enough. Blondie grabs hold of Kang's leg, trying to pin him down, but Kang is quicker. He follows up with a powerful kick from his left foot, smashing Blondie's nose. Blood starts pouring out, staining the ground. Kang doesn't stop there. He swings his demonic blade, aiming for Blondie's neck, and their fight rages on for what feels like an eternity. Blondie can't land a single hit on Kang. Instead, Kang kicks Blondie to the ground. Blondie lies there staring up in shock, completely unable to grasp who this person really is. Blondie knows he's stronger than Kang, yet he can't even touch him. Lying on the ground, dazed, Blondie feels Kang's right foot pressed down on his head. Kang, with a cold, mocking smile, tells Blondie he isn't done yet. He then uses his demonic blade to slash Blondie's right hand, making him scream in agony. Kang's voice drops to a deep, menacing tone as he taunts Blondie, telling him not to cry like a child. He assures Blondie that this show is far from over, and that he'll have to pay for ruining Kang's precious kimchi stew. Blondie, confused and bewildered, finally blurts out, asking why Kang is getting so angry over a small, useless dish like kimchi stew. Hearing the word useless, Kang's face contorts with even more anger. He grabs Blondie by the hair, yanking his head back violently. With a look of pure psychosis, Kang glares at Blondie and declares that the kimchi stew is not useless at all. Blondie's eyes widen in horror, finally realizing that Kang is a true psychopath. He knows common sense won't work on someone like this. He tries to apologize, sensing the danger he's in. But before he can get the words out, Kang slams Blondie's face into the floor. Kang snarls, telling him that kimchi is not a small, useless dish. He smashes Blondie's head into the ground again, making his face swell up. Blondie is on the verge of fainting, his nose completely broken. Kang leans down, bringing his lips close to Blondie's ear, and in a deep, chilling voice, he tells Blondie that he's going to play a little game. He demands that as soon as he says one, Blondie has to say kimchi stew, and when Kang says two, Blondie has to respond with, is sacred food. Without waiting, Kang begins the game. He says one, and Blondie, terrified and in pain, chokes out kimchi stew. Kang immediately breaks Blondie's left hand, scolding him for speaking too slowly. Blondie grinds his teeth, crying out in agony. Kang, with an evil grin, repeats, one. Blondie, screaming now, shouts kimchi stew. Kang follows with two, and Blondie, still crying, yells is a sacred food. But Kang isn't satisfied yet. Kang kicks Blondie's face again, demanding that he scream even louder. He wants Blondie to worship kimchi stew like it's a god, like a man desperate to win the love of his life. Juhi watches in utter confusion, wondering if Kang is truly a psychopathic, mentally ill person. Kang, with a maniacal smile, screams at Blondie, demanding that he say it 100 times louder, that kimchi stew is sacred food. And just like that, for the next hour, Kang forces Blondie to repeat it over and over. By the time Blondie has said it more than 100 times, he's drenched in sweat, almost all the water in his body gone. He's screamed so loudly that his teeth start to crack. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Kang, looking satisfied, gets up from the ground. He pulls the demonic blade out of Blondie's hand and, with a final smirk, tells him, from today onwards, don't you dare call kimchi stew useless. On the other hand, Blondie lies on the ground, completely drained of energy, his body trembling. He's left wondering what the hell is wrong with this crazy bastard. After that, the scene shifts, and we see Juhi putting a bandage on her mom's head. Juhi's expression is a mix of sadness and worry, her eyes downcast. On the other side of the room, Blondie, still bleeding from her nose, is washing the utensils that she had dropped on the floor. Despite her own injuries, Juhi had healed Blondie, but the situation feels almost surreal to Blondie. As she scrubs the dishes, she can't help but wonder what the hell is going on with her life right now. She had come here to teach a lesson to her mom and sister, yet here she is, washing dishes like a servant. Meanwhile, Kang sits comfortably sipping tea and casually checking Juhi's smartphone. Blondie glances over at him, gritting her teeth. In her mind, she curses Kang, thinking that he didn't just take her pride, he even took her clothes. Kang's face is still swollen, and he's muttering under his breath, cursing about the kimchi. Blondie, in her mind, calls Kang a kimchi villain bitch, still in disbelief that he went this far just over a bowl of kimchi stew. Blondie feels a wave of frustration wash over her, questioning why she's suffering like this, but as soon as Kang gently places a cup of coffee on the table, the simple sound of it makes Blondie flinch. The fear in her eyes is unmistakable. Kang, noticing this, starts to calm down a bit, his demeanor shifting. As he begins to normalize, he looks over at Blondie, who is still visibly shaken. He asks her a question that catches her off guard. He asks if she's wondering why he got so angry over a simple kimchi dish. Blondie, swallowing hard, nods slightly but thinks to herself that she could never understand such madness. Kang's expression darkens as he gives Blondie a deadly glare. He tells her she wouldn't understand. She can sleep, eat, and breathe fresh air peacefully here on Earth. Blondie will never know how blessed she is. Kang tells her to treat her own life and the lives of others with precious care. Blondie, though scared, nods in agreement, thinking to herself that once she gets out of this place, she'll report Kang to her guild. She's confident that the guild won't let Kang go once they find out about this. But then Kang slams his hand down on the table, making Blondie jump in fear. He casually tells her that if she's finished washing the dishes, she should come over to him. Blondie hesitates, her heart pounding, but she eventually shuffles over, standing in front of Kang like a scolded child. Kang stares her down, and coldly tells her he doesn't see any reason to let her live. Blondie already knows this, and it's clear to both of them that she's not someone who can do good for the world. Blondie understands that Kang is about to kill her. Before she can react, Kang grabs Blondie's clothes, pulling her close. With bloodthirsty eyes, he tells her not to worry because he's not going to kill her. He's sparing her only because she's Juhi's sister. He won't kill her just yet. As he says this, Kang's demonic eyes glow with a psychopathic, creepy smile spread across his face. Suddenly, Blondie finds herself trapped in a strange illusion realm. In this realm, a giant horseman appears before Blondie, with 3 eyes glaring at her menacingly. The creature is genuinely creepy, sending chills down her spine. The horseman grabs Blondie with his huge hands and starts crushing her. Every bone in Blondie's body snaps and breaks, but then she heals instantly, only to have the process repeated over and over again. It feels like an eternity of torture, but in reality, only 5-10 seconds have passed. It's as if Kang has the power of Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan, trapping her in a nightmarish loop. Blondie's mind shatters from the experience. She's so terrified that she pisses her pants. Kang calmly explains that this spell will leave Blondie's mental state so shaken that he won't be able to tell anyone about what happened here. Anytime she tries to recall the incident, sheer terror will paralyze him, making him unable to speak of it. The scene cuts back and we see Blondie's pants still wet. Like a soulless zombie, he slowly stumbles away, his eyes blank. Juhi watches her leave but shows no concern for her brother's mental state. She only keeps her eyes on Kang, thinking that Kang has saved her life once again. Meanwhile, Kang, while scrolling through Juhi's phone, suddenly realizes he's screwed. He remembers that he's an orphan with barely any money from the start, and now that the world has changed so much, he needs to find a way to earn money. Kang's thoughts spiral as he tries to come up with a plan. Juhi, standing behind him, continues to admire Kang's strength. Kang's attention shifts as he notices a magic stone on the table. An idea sparks in his mind, and he calls Juhi over. He asks if she has a magic crystal. Juhi hands him an E-grade magic crystal from her bag, explaining that it came from the goblin Kang had killed earlier. Kang takes the crystal, examining it closely. He tries to absorb the magic inside, focusing intently. Kang had read on Juhi's phone that the darker the magic stone, the more powerful it is, with more magic stored inside. However, despite his efforts, Kang can't feel any familiar magic from the crystal. He senses some energy, but it's not the type of demonic magic he's used to. When Kang absorbed the goblin's soul, his own magic increased, leading him to conclude that the magic inside the crystal is a form of white magic. He realizes that since he hails from the demonic realm, his own magic is demonic energy. Kang figures out that if he absorbs the souls of the goblins, he can tap into his full power. The white magic inside the crystal, however, is something entirely different. Kang wonders how he might use this white magic. If he could harness both white and dark magic, he imagines how strong he could become. After thinking it over, Kang hands the crystal back to Juhi, realizing that if he wants to get stronger, he needs to go into the dungeon. And to do that, he needs an identity card. He asks Juhi if there's a place nearby where he can get one, explaining that his old ID card is lost. Juhi tells him there's a hunter association nearby where he can get a new ID card, and she's heading there too. She offers to take him along. Juhi then reflects on her own mistake. She remembers how, after her E-rank awakening, she rushed straight into a dungeon without any proper training. A reckless and stupid decision. If Kang hadn't been there, she wouldn't be alive now. She vows to become stronger before entering a dungeon again. Juhi asks Kang if, once she's strong enough, she can join him in the dungeon. Kang smiles and says yes, but deep inside he knows he can't afford any distractions. Kang thinks to himself that if he wants to become truly powerful, he can't be distracted by fancy things like companionship or romance. He knows the Earth isn't the same anymore. There will be more powerful people out there like Blondie. If Kang wants to live a carefree life, like a lazy king, he needs to become the strongest hunter on Earth. Only then will he be able to keep everyone and everything at bay. The scene shifts, and we see Kang holding his brand new ID card, standing in the train beside Juhi. A flashback shows us how Kang casually walked into the ID center, simply saying his card was lost. In just seconds, they handed him a new one. No fuss, no questions. But instead of feeling relieved, a wave of sadness hits Kang like a truck. It's been 5 years since he vanished. Even though he was an orphan, the realization that not a single soul filed a missing report for him stings. The thought makes Kang's heart feel heavy. He's overwhelmed by the bitter taste of loneliness. Just as Kang's sinking into his depressing thoughts, Juhi's voice cuts through like a lifeline, snapping him back to reality. She excitedly tells him they're almost at the Hunter Awakening Center. Kang looks out the window, eyes widening as he sees a massive white-colored colossal stadium rising up like a giant beacon. His jaw drops. This place is huge. It's 5 times bigger than the largest airport he's ever seen. Juhi then hands Kang a smartphone, explaining it's her old one since she noticed he didn't have a phone. Kang takes it, feeling a rush of gratitude. He silently thinks to himself, Juhi must be an angel. In his heart, he treats her like a divine blessing. Juhi informs him there's no SIM card, but her contact is saved, and he can call her whenever he connects to Wi-Fi. With a smile, she heads off for her basic training at the Awakening Center, while Kang prepares for his own awakening. Juhi is 110% sure that Kang will have a high-level awakening, guessing he'll become either a B rank or A rank. Kang steps into the Awakening Center, where crowds of people buzz with anticipation. He swipes his identity card at the Hunter Association machine, and his waiting number pops up as 18th. He feels a mix of nervousness and excitement, itching to know his rank. While waiting, Kang listens to the conversations around him. An old man announces proudly that he's ranked D rank, and boasts that D rank is actually good, considering most beginners start at E rank or even worse F rank, which is rarely seen. He mentions the legendary top 5 guild masters who all awakened as S rank hunters in their very first awakening. These people are beyond normal. They're practically gods among hunters. Intrigued, Kang quickly searches for the names of the top 5 guild masters on his phone. He learns that Korea's strongest have founded their own powerful guilds. Among them are Ja-yoon, an old veteran, and Ja-yoon, a fierce female hunter, along with 3 other dominant figures. Kang's curiosity deepens as he wonders if Korea's top 5 could be stronger than him. He questions if, at his full power, he could stand a chance against these titans. Kang then checks his status window, noticing that as his level goes up, so does his strength. He realizes that by defeating monsters and absorbing their demonic energy, the Hell's Seal placed on him is slowly breaking apart. It's as if he's leveling up twice as fast. Kang thinks that if he keeps leveling up his status window character and fully unlocks his hell powers, he might become far stronger than he ever was in the demonic realm. This realization fuels his excitement, and finally it's Kang's turn. Kang rises confidently, swaggering up to the platform. A girl with glasses greets him and instructs him to place his hand on the white crystal, pouring his magic power into it. The color of the crystal will determine his rank. As Kang places his hand on the crystal, he thinks to himself, I gotta control my magic. If he goes all out and awakens as a high rank, it'll draw too much attention, and Kang wants to stay low-key for now. The moment his hand touches the crystal, it begins to glow brightly, lighting up the entire room. Kang takes a deep breath, feeling the surge of power, briefly imagining himself awakening as an S-rank hunter. He can feel the raw potential, but he knows with great power comes great responsibility. He decides to hold back, not wanting to reveal his full strength just yet. As the glow fades, the girl at the Awakening Center smiles politely and says, Congratulations, you've awakened as an F-rank hunter. Kang freezes, standing there as if struck by lightning. He had been expecting the typical reaction, the receptionist gasping in shock, proclaiming him as an S-rank. Instead, she's calmly telling him he's F-rank. His face goes pale, all color draining away. Kang's mind goes blank. He's stunned, unable to process what he's just heard. He had imagined this moment playing out like the scene of a main character revealing their ultimate power, but instead, he's left standing there. After that, the receptionist tells Kang he can now head to the Awakening Center for his basic training. She continues explaining the procedure, but Kang isn't paying attention. His mind is still spinning, struggling to grasp what just happened. He knows his powers are sealed, but even then he can't believe he's been classified as an F rank. It's like a slap in the face. The receptionist, seeing Kang's blank expression, tries to reassure him. She explains that although he's ranked F, he needs to be at least an E rank to enter any dungeon gates. So she tells him they'll make an E-rank player card for him, and once he completes the basic training at the Awakening Center, he'll be as strong as an E-rank hunter. Kang hears this and laughs internally. He thinks to himself that if some demon child back in the demonic realm was told they were ranked E or F, they'd go crazy and probably wipe out half the human population out of sheer rage. But then, the memory of the demonic realm hits Kang like a tidal wave, plunging him back into depression. He shudders, feeling that familiar tentophobia creep up his spine as he remembers the demons, especially the tentacle girl. Kang quickly snaps back and asks the receptionist what he needs to do to increase his rank. The receptionist explains that after completing the basic training, he'll immediately be upgraded to E rank. Then he can enter the dungeon, and the more magic crystals he collects, the faster his rank will rise. Finally, he'll need to take a combat test to move up the ranks. Hearing this, Kang stands up abruptly, ready to leave. He tells the receptionist he's heard enough and demands his E-rank hunter card so he can head straight to the dungeon. The receptionist watches him, feeling a pang of sympathy. She assumes Kang must be devastated to learn he's only F rank, probably thinking he wouldn't survive in a dungeon alone. But just as she's thinking this, a black bubble appears inside the magic crystal, turning the previously white crystal a deep inky black. The receptionist's eyes widen in shock as the magic crystal within Bam broke into pieces. She's never seen anything like this before. The crystal has never turned dark black or dark blue. The strongest color ever recorded was red, indicating an S rank. Confused, the receptionist assumes the magic crystal must be broken. Meanwhile, the scene shifts, and we find Kang standing at an E-rank gate, where groups of people are forming parties. Almost 99.99% of these groups are looking for hunters ranked D or higher. Kang gets annoyed as he approaches party after party, only to be rejected each time. Frustrated, he decides to enter the dungeon alone. He shows his hunter license to the guard and strides into the dungeon without a second thought. As soon as Kang enters the dungeon, a loud voice booms from behind him, calling his name. Kang turns around and finds himself face to face with a massive mountain-like figure towering over him. At first, Kang thinks it's some kind of bear monster, but then realizes it's actually a human, a huge mountain-like man. The giant figure looks down at Kang, asking if he plans to hunt alone. Kang, unfazed, nods and confirms that he's here solo. The mountain-like man, curious, asks if Kang has completed his second awakening yet. Kang shakes his head, saying he hasn't done it yet. Hearing this, the giant man's party members look shocked, whispering among themselves. They're surprised that Kang hasn't completed his second awakening yet, which means he's likely below level 10. They quickly dismiss him, saying they don't want a weakling like Kang on their team. Kang smirks, thinking it's amusing that they assume a low-ranked hunter like him wouldn't be useful. But the giant man steps forward, introducing himself as Tai So, and insists that it's his duty to help weaker hunters. Kang feels a rare moment of appreciation, smiling back at Tai So. He thinks this guy genuinely wants to help, unlike most people he's encountered. Kang thanks Tai So, introducing himself and saying he's glad to meet someone so kind. Tai So, with a friendly grin, tells Kang there's no need for such formalities. He reveals that he's only 24 years old, despite his enormous size. Kang's face pales, shocked by Tai So's age. How could a 24-year-old look like this? Tai So notices Kang's disbelief and shows his identity card, proving his age. Kang nods, realizing Tai So isn't lying. Kang thanks Taiso once again for his offer to help, but explains that he has a secret plan to execute in this dungeon and needs to work alone. Taiso looks confused, but respects Kang's decision. Before parting ways, Kang gives Taiso a warning. There's a dangerous goblin lurking in this dungeon, one that's 10 times bigger than any normal goblin. Kang advises Taiso to run if he encounters it. Taiso chuckles, thanking Kang for the tip, and they both wave goodbye as they head in different directions. The scene shifts again, and we see Kang unlocking all his senses, scanning the area with a heightened awareness. In just seconds, he locates the goblin village where hundreds of goblins are gathered. Wasting no time, Kang leaps forward, heading straight into the heart of the goblin village. After that, Kang leaps into the air, buzzing with excitement, his demonic blade flashing as he slashes through the goblins effortlessly. The goblins barely have time to react. They don't even know what hit them. One moment they're standing tall, and the next they're sliced apart. The warrior goblins stand there in shock, their mouths hanging open, unable to comprehend what just happened. Kang flashes a smile, a twisted psychopathic grin, as he revels in the thrill of the slaughter. He's enjoying every second of it. The goblins, on the other hand, are boiling with rage, but their anger is useless here. Kang, like a hot knife through butter, slaughters the goblins one after another, not giving them a chance to retaliate. In a matter of seconds, he's painted the ground red. The brutality of the scene leaves the remaining goblins shivering with fear. They're so terrified that they don't even attempt to attack anymore. They simply cower, too scared to make a move. But Kang, he's having the time of his life. It's like he's back in hell, where he had to fight tooth and nail every single day just to survive. The bloodshed awakens something inside him. He feels alive. Within minutes, Kang has wiped out the entire goblin village. Corpses of goblins litter the ground, like broken toys scattered across the battlefield. Heads roll, severed hands lie in puddles of blood, and dismembered bodies are strewn everywhere. It's a massacre. Suddenly a system notification pops up in front of Kang. The message congratulates him for defeating an E-rank goblin. Kang's eyes flicker with excitement as he sees his level has jumped by 4 points, and his demonic magic power has increased by 1. He pulls up his status window to check his progress. He's now at level 8. His first awakening ability, Gluttony, has been crucial in absorbing the demonic energy from the goblins. He's just 2 levels away from unlocking his second awakening ability. Kang scans his stats. Strength 9, Stamina 8, Intelligence 8, Detox 10. He's a bit surprised. He didn't expect his demonic energy to increase just from leveling up, but there's no time to dwell on it. He quickly refocuses on the task at hand, remembering why he came here in the first place. Kang sits down on the blood-soaked ground and activates his Gluttony skill. As soon as he triggers Gluttony, Kang starts absorbing the goblins one by one, pulling their essence into his body like a black hole devouring stars. He tries to absorb the magic stones as well, but something's off. The magic in the stones feels different. Kang can't seem to absorb it. He realizes it's because the magic in these crystals is white magic, while he wields dark magic. It's like oil and water, they just don't mix. Kang smirks, feeling a rush of satisfaction. By devouring all the goblins, he's managed to boost his demonic energy significantly. And the leftover magic crystals? They're a gold mine. He can sell them for a hefty price. 1 arrow, 2 birds. Kang gathers the magic crystals, his mind drifting to thoughts of chicken. Not just any chicken, but a delicious meal shared with Yuhi. He smiles, almost tasting the crispy skin and tender meat as he stuffs the crystals into his bag. Just as he finishes, a deafening roar echoes from behind him. Kang spins around, his eyes narrowing as he spots a massive, mountain-like monster charging straight at him. It's a beast unlike any he's faced before, towering and covered in thick, rough skin, with feet the size of tree trunks and a face twisted in rage. Kang immediately notices the huge meat chopper clutched in the beast's hand, gleaming with a wicked edge. But there's something else. Something that makes Kang pause for a second. This monster isn't just a mindless brute, it's using magic, and not just any magic, white magic. Kang's eyes widen in surprise. Up until now, he hasn't seen any goblins or monsters using magic, let alone white magic. The realization sends a thrill through him. The beast doesn't waste any time, it lunges forward, swinging its giant chopper, aiming to slice Kang in half. The ground shakes with each step as it barrels toward him, its eyes locked onto Kang like a predator zeroing in on its prey. The sheer force of its movement sends a gust of wind whipping past Kang's face. Kang tightens his grip on his demonic blade, a smile curling at the edge of his lips. This crazy beast wants a fight, huh? Kang thinks to himself. He steps back, readying himself for the clash. This isn't just any ordinary monster. It's a powerful foe, and Kang can feel his blood pumping with excitement. It's time to show this beast that it picked the wrong person to mess with. Although Kang was surprised to see that a monster could manipulate magic power, he didn't hesitate. He was ready to face this massive beast. With a quick flick of his wrist, Kang activates his demonic blade, channeling his demonic magic into it. He immediately locks eyes on the hobgoblin, analyzing its magic power. Kang can sense that his own demonic power is far superior to the hobgoblin's white magic. But there's a problem, because his powers are still sealed. The hobgoblin's raw, destructive force outmatches Kang's current strength. He knows that if a single hit from that huge meat chopper lands, it could be game over for him. Kang's body is weakened, but his instincts are sharper than ever. The hobgoblin swings its massive chopper, aiming to split Kang in two. Kang dodges, barely escaping the blade's edge by a hair's breadth. The hobgoblin roars and swings again, the sheer force of its attack splitting the air. Kang, reacting swiftly, tries to block the blow by gripping his demonic blade with both hands. The impact is immense. Kang's arms tremble under the weight, confirming his suspicion. The hobgoblin's physical strength is greater than his, but Kang isn't one to give up easily. He comes up with a plan on the fly. He tilts his body to the left, deflecting the meat chopper downward into the ground. The hobgoblin stumbles, slightly off balance, and Kang seizes the moment. He lunges forward, slashing at the hobgoblin's armor with his demonic blade. A small scratch appears, but it's clear it's not enough. Kang realizes that normal attacks won't cut it against this beast. The hobgoblin snarls, swinging wildly at Kang, but Kang's 10,000 years of battle experience in hell allow him to dodge each strike with finesse. Still, Kang knows he can't keep this up forever. His stamina is waning, and the hobgoblin's attacks are getting faster and stronger. Kang finds himself cornered in front of a large tree. The hobgoblin brings its chopper down in a crushing blow, slicing the tree clean in half. Kang, thinking fast, spots a goblin skull lying nearby. He picks it up and hurls it behind the hobgoblin. The skull lands with a hollow thud, and the hobgoblin turns its head, clearly confused. Kang's eyes light up. This was the distraction he needed. He mutters a demonic enchantment under his breath, dashing towards the hobgoblin with lightning speed. He grabs the hobgoblin by the chest and releases a demonic spell, aiming to weaken the beast. For a moment, nothing happens. Kang frowns, thinking the spell failed. But then the hobgoblin starts screaming. Its body begins to swell, muscles bulging as its size doubles in an instant. The hobgoblin roars, becoming 3 times stronger than before. With a single swing of its meat chopper, the hobgoblin slices through the entire forest behind it like a hot knife through butter. Trees are obliterated in seconds, shattered to pieces. Kang's eyes widen in excitement. He's never used this skill before. It's a low-level demonic skill, something he used in hell to buff his enemies temporarily, making them stronger but also more confused. The drawback of this skill is severe. The target's mind regresses to that of a 2-year-old child. The hobgoblin, already a brainless monster, becomes even more erratic and wild. Its attacks lacking precision. Kang smirks. This is exactly what he was hoping for. He effortlessly dodges the hobgoblin's wild swings, its movements clumsy and uncoordinated. With a swift dash, Kang slashes at the hobgoblin's knee, cutting deep and crippling its leg. The massive beast stumbles, unable to keep its balance. Kang doesn't waste a second. He goes in for the kill. In one fluid motion, Kang drives his demonic blade straight into the hobgoblin's chest, piercing its heart. The hobgoblin's eyes go wide, and it lets out a final guttural scream before collapsing to the ground with a thud. The next moment, the hobgoblin falls to the ground with a bam, its massive body hitting the dirt as Kang's demonic blade had punctured its heart. In that same moment, the hobgoblin's life is snuffed out. Kang takes a deep breath, feeling a wave of exhaustion hit him. He's frustrated, thinking how much easier it would have been if he had even 1/10 of his past power. He would have crushed the hobgoblin like an ant. Kang clenches his fists, realizing he needs to unseal his old powers ASAP. Just then, a system notification pops up informing Kang that he's cleared an entire monster hideout by himself, granting him a 150% bonus in experience points. The system also notifies him that he has successfully defeated a C-rank boss monster, the Hobgoblin. Kang's eyes widen in shock. He can't believe he just took down a boss monster. The system chimes in again, telling him he's leveled up 3 times in one go. This puts Kang at level 11, and with it he's achieved his second awakening. Kang feels a surge of excitement as he realizes his second special ability has been unlocked. The system notifies him that his new skill, Unstable Hunger, has been activated. This ability allows Kang to absorb even more demonic energy when using gluttony. Kang's face lights up. He's thrilled. Although Unstable Hunger isn't a high-tier skill, it has a unique perk. It lets him absorb double the demonic energy. Kang grins, knowing this will make him even stronger. If he can leverage the benefits of being a player, he's confident he'll get stronger at an insane speed. Kang wastes no time. He activates his gluttony skill and starts absorbing the body of the hobgoblin. As the corpse dissolves into dark energy, Kang taps into his Unstable Hunger ability. The result? He absorbs double the usual demonic energy. The system pops up again, notifying him that his demonic energy stat has increased by 3 points, bringing his total up to 19 points. Kang feels a rush of joy, his grin widening. With a deep breath, Kang closes his eyes and channels his demonic energy, eager to see just how powerful he's become after absorbing so much. But as soon as he taps into his power, he feels a shock run through him. He had expected his energy to be twice as strong as before, but instead it feels like it's tripled in strength. This is good news, but it also leaves Kang feeling uneasy. The system shows 19 points of demonic energy, yet Kang can sense he's wielding far more power than that. Kang frowns, realizing there's an unknown spike in his power that might be dangerous. He needs to find out what caused this sudden surge. He closes his eyes again, concentrating deeply, and finds himself in a strange black liquid-like realm where the sky is a deep bloody red. This place is known as the Mira Demonic Gate. Kang's eyes narrow as he realizes something. The seal on his body has weakened. This is why he's able to access more demonic energy than before. Kang scratches his head, wondering what exactly caused the seal to loosen. What had he done to make the seal on his body weaken? He thinks back and realizes that the moment he unlocked his second awakening, the seal had started to crack. A psychopathic smile creeps across Kang's face as he starts laughing, his mind racing with possibilities. If he continues leveling up like this and quickly achieves his third and fourth awakenings, then maybe the seal will weaken even further. Kang grins with madness in his eyes. He's excited at the thought of accessing his old powers bit by bit. He picks up a magic crystal from the ground, still chuckling to himself, the laughter bubbling up from deep inside, the hunger for power, the craving to level up. It's all there in his eyes, a wild manic glint that can't be hidden. The scene shifts, and we find Kang sitting in a cozy restaurant with Juhi, happily munching on a piece of chicken. He looks genuinely content, savoring the flavor as he takes a swig of cold beer. He lets out a sigh of pleasure, saying, "This is delicious. This is the best." Juhi, watching him enjoy his meal, decides to tease him a little. She smirks and asks, "So Kang, tell me, what was better, the kimchi I made for you or this chicken?" Kang's face immediately scrunches up in confusion and worry. This was a tough question, way tougher than facing any demon lord. Both dishes are his favorites, and it's impossible to choose. Seeing him so flustered, Juhi bursts out laughing, saying she was just kidding. She adds, "Kang, you're really a funny guy." Kang breathes a sigh of relief and thanks Juhi as she hands him another piece of chicken. He digs in, savoring every bite, while Juhi watches him with a gentle smile. But then Juhi's expression shifts slightly. She leans in and, with a curious look, asks Kang if he has any friends or family. Kang pauses, lowering his gaze. He takes a deep gulp of beer, finishing it in one go, and quietly says that he has no friends or family. In fact, he doesn't even have a place to stay. Juhi's smile fades, replaced with a look of genuine concern. She asks Kang where he plans to sleep tonight. Kang shrugs, saying he hadn't thought about it. He figured he'd hit a dungeon, sell some magic crystals, and use the money to stay at a hotel. Juhi's face softens with sympathy, and she makes an offer that leaves Kang speechless. She tells him that if he has nowhere to go, he can stay at her place. Kang's mouth drops open in shock. "Are you serious?" he asks. Juhi nods with a kind smile, explaining that he saved her life countless times. It's the least she can do. Kang's eyes light up with happiness, and he thanks Juhi sincerely. Juhi, on the other hand, can't help but think how lonely and sad Kang must be inside. He puts on a tough front, but she can see the pain beneath his smile. Kang pulls out a stack of money from his pocket, cash he earned from selling the magic crystals, and hands it to Juhi. She tries to refuse, but Kang insists, telling her it's rent money. He'll be staying at her place and eating her food, so it's only fair she accepts it as a fee. Juhi reluctantly takes the money, her eyes filling with emotion. It's a huge sum, thousands of dollars. With a soft emotional smile, Juhi agrees, telling Kang she'll make him kimchi for breakfast tomorrow. Kang beams at her, thinking to himself that Juhi must be an angel, the true queen of making kimchi. Before the scene fade, Kang asks Juhi if there's a D-rank dungeon nearby. Juhi nods, mentioning there's a dungeon filled with lizard men not far from here. Kang's eyes gleam as he munches on his last piece of chicken, wondering to himself with a grin, "I wonder if lizard chicken tastes as good as this." His scene shifts, and we see Juhi bringing Kang back to her house. She leads him to a room, mentioning that it once belonged to her brother, but since Kang killed him, he hasn't been back. So now, the room is free for Kang to use. Kang nods, liking the vibe of the room, and he thanks Juhi with a genuine smile. Juhi simply nods and steps out, leaving him alone. Kang turns off the lights, and as he lays down on the soft bed, he feels an overwhelming sense of relief. He can't even remember the last time he slept on something so comfortable. It's been 10,000 years of sleeping on hard, cold ground in hell, and this bed feels like heaven. Slowly, his eyes flutter shut, and for the first time in ages, Kang falls into a peaceful sleep, feeling a bit emotional. The scene cuts, and we now find Kang standing at the entrance of a dungeon gate. The place is bustling with activity, hunters everywhere looking for a healer and a tanker. Everyone's calling out for party members, but they're only asking for people above D rank. Kang notices a brown-haired hunter off to the side, desperately trying to join a group. His class is a bandit, but no one wants him on their team. Kang ignores the chaos, flashes his identity card to the guard, and steps inside the dungeon alone. This is the D-rank gate that Juhi had mentioned. Once inside, Kang activates one of his skills, the power of silent. With this, all sounds of his body movements vanish, making him completely silent. In an instant, Kang speeds off, moving like a shadow as he searches for the lizard man. A quick flashback shows Joo-hee explaining that lizard men are highly sensitive to sound but have terrible eyesight. She told him that it's easy to kill them one by one, but if they gather in a group, it can get dangerous. That's why Kang used the power of silence to erase his presence entirely. The lizard men don't even realize that Kang is standing right behind them. Joo-hee had also mentioned that lizard men are weak to fire, and any group with a fire mage can easily take them down. Kang smirks, knowing exactly what to do. He activates a low-level hellfire skill, and his eyes turn pitch black, burning with a demonic flame. He flicks his hand, setting a small blue flame on the bodies of 3 lizard men. At first, nothing happens, but then the lizard men start to scream in panic as the flames begin to spread across their scales. The lizard men frantically try to put out the fire, jumping into a nearby pool of water, but the flames only burn brighter. Kang watches them struggle and explains to himself with a smirk. Hellfire isn't a normal flame. It doesn't go out until its target is dead. The only way to stop it is if Kang decides to extinguish it himself. At this moment, Kang feels like he's an Uchiha using Amaterasu, the inextinguishable black flames. Finally, the lizard men are reduced to crispy ash, and Kang steps forward, activating his gluttony skill. He absorbs their demonic energy into his body, feeling a surge of power as it fills him. Just as he finishes absorbing, more lizard men rush in from behind, their eyes gleaming with rage. Kang's lips curl into a greedy smile, as if he's just been presented with a delicious meal. Time passes, and the scene shows Kang standing amidst a pile of lizard men corpses, having killed and absorbed every single one. His body feels energized, humming with newfound strength. Suddenly, a group of hunters approach from behind. They look at Kang and scoff, commenting on his cheap equipment and assuming he's a low-level beginner. The leader of the group, a guy we'll call Dumbhead, steps forward with a smug grin. He offers Kang a spot in their group, not to fight, but to carry their bags, saying they'll protect him in the dungeon since he looks like he's out of his depth. Kang, clearly annoyed, brushes past them without a word, heading deeper into the dungeon. Dumbhead watches him go, his face turning red with anger. He sneers, muttering to his party that Kang is an arrogant son of a bitch, looking like a total beginner, but acting high and mighty. He vows to teach Kang a lesson. But let me tell you something. If you ever see a guy wandering alone in a dungeon with weak-looking gear but he's got no scratches on him, you should know one thing. He's definitely the main character of the story. So if you're smart, you do well to stay far away from him. After that, the scene shifts and we see that Kang burns and kills a lot of lizard men, slowly absorbing them and increasing his level. Kang thinks to himself that he's just killing 4 or 5 lizard men, one by one, which is why his level is only slowly increasing. But he knows that if he starts gathering a lot of lizard men in one spot, other hunters will become suspicious. It's better to be cautious. Suddenly, the dumbhead from earlier calls out to Kang from behind. Kang immediately recognizes him. It's the same guy who offered to Kang to carry his bag earlier. The dumbhead smirks and says he came to check if Kang was still alive. Hearing this, Kang crosses his arms and laughs, replying that as the dumbhead can see, he's perfectly fine, so he can just leave now. The dumbhead gives a smirking smile, saying he doesn't like Kang's attitude one bit. Kang, with a mocking grin, says, "If you don't like me, then why are you standing here in front of me? You want to marry me or something?" The dumbhead's face turns red with rage and he snaps, vowing to teach Kang a lesson he won't forget. He thinks Kang will regret messing with him. In his mind, he believes that if Kang has survived alone in the Lizard Man dungeon, he might be able to reach B rank, but definitely not any higher. The dumbhead bangs his sword against his shield, creating a loud clang. His party members behind him grin, like they're watching an entertaining show. He continues to bash his shield, making a racket. Kang just stands there with a bored expression, but inside he's laughing. He finds the dumbhead's actions cute, like a child throwing a tantrum. Suddenly, a loud rumble echoes through the dungeon. The dumbhead's grin widens as he orders his mage to activate the magic barrier. He smirks at Kang and says that judging by the sound, there must be at least 15-20 lizard men heading their way. He taunts Kang, saying he'll soon see the results of his arrogance. The dumbhead gleefully adds that he and his group will enjoy watching the lizard men eat Kang alive. He asks Kang if he's scared now and offers a deal. If Kang apologizes, they'll kill the lizard men and let him go. Kang starts laughing, loud, crazy laughter, looking up at the sky. His eyes turn pitch black, and he gives a psychopathic smile. He claps his hands together, creating a massive sonic boom that shakes the entire area. The shockwave is so strong that the dumbhead and his party members cover their ears, feeling like their eardrums might burst. The trees sway violently, and the nearby water ripples from the force. Kang stomps the ground hard, creating a second sonic boom, sending another powerful shockwave through the dungeon. The dumbhead's face turns pale, his confident smirk replaced with a look of pure fear. He shouts at Kang to stop, calling him a psychopath, but Kang just stares back with a cold, emotionless gaze like a demon. The dumbhead starts trembling, realizing the magnitude of what Kang has done. The sonic booms were so powerful that they must have alerted every lizard man in the dungeon. If that's true, then hundreds of lizard men will soon be swarming this area. Panic sets in, and the dumbhead frantically orders his mage to start the barrier. The mage, visibly shaking, admits he's never seen so many lizard men gathering at once. The dumbhead's arrogance shatters into sheer terror. He starts screaming at Kang, accusing him of trying to commit suicide and taking everyone down with him. But Kang, calm as ever, leaps up onto a high branch of a tree, looking down at the chaos below. He smirks and says, "Lizard men are sensitive to sound. I know that better than anyone." Then, with a flick of his wrist, Kang activates his stealth skill, making his entire presence disappear. The dumbhead watches in horror as a huge swarm of lizard men rushes towards them,